Hi Rani ji, good evening.
Very good evening to you, Nikita. So thank you so much for having me on your show, and I'm
Uh,
really
thank
delighted to be here.
thank you so much for actually joining in. It is such a pleasure to interview you and have this conversation. Like I was just saying before, right? 30 years of experience. That is such a rich experience. Uh, Tell me, when did you started, and how has been your journey?
Okay. So, Nikita, my journey, 30 years of professional life and then much before the personal life, to combine the two and to talk about it. I'll try to do my best in this given short period that we have, the time that we have. But I must say, if I look at my life, and if a question were to ask, at this point juncture of your life and life, do you feel fulfilled? Is there a fulfillment in your life? I would say yes, very much fulfilled. It's been fulfilling journey. It's been a very satisfying journey. And I when I talk to myself, I say I've been really been blessed in this life and birth, and that's being a
Wow.
little spiritual, which
Wow.
I am to some extent. So, talking about my own journey in life, I think first and foremost, I'm very thankful to God, and I think I was very blessed to be in a fact to be born in a family where my parents really encouraged me uh, to go ahead and study and to educate myself. There were no kind of differentiations or anything done between me and my brother, and I think I was really blessed to have them to be born there in that family. So my education, my career, my growth, my growing years, all has been in Mumbai, the financial capital of the country, and this is where I also grew up in my professional life. Okay. So the seeds which were sown by my father in terms of education and his vision for my career, I would say my husband, who was a medical practitioner, he actually watered it and helped me to grow further and made them watered that whole tree and bringing a strong roots to it and helped me to really grow, and I am today because of him. Whatever I have done for created for myself, and he encouraged
Wow.
me to be an individual, to create my own identity. And in fact, I did my studies even post marriage. So
Wow.
before I got married, I was I had done my graduation in social work. I had done my post graduation from Tata Institute of Social Sciences in HR. I joined Bachelor's of Law, and after my marriage, I did my LLB. Further, I did my LLM, and as early as
Wow.
2016, I submitted my doctoral thesis, and I got my degree in doctorate in 2018 early in Jan. But he
Wow.
encouraged me to do all of this, and for all this, I think one needs to be having that gratitude to God, to all the people who have made me what I am
Supported.
today. Yeah, otherwise, and because of that, you have invited me as well today, right?
Yes.
So otherwise, so
Yes.
I'm really
That's
grateful
why
for
we
this.
were able to spot you.
Right. Thank you.
That's the reason we approached you. You have a wonderful journey.
Yeah. Then talking about some of the milestones and some of the fulfilling part of the of life has been. See, I was born in a usual upper middle class family where my father was the sole earner for the family. We had an extended family to take care of. Got married into this family of mine, current, the size. And I think I was also lucky and fortunate than the most of the people, because in this post marriage, there were a lot of projects that we did. And these projects were something to do with for the society, for the community, for the village that we belong to, where way back in 1990s, where there were no phones, there were no cell phones, there were no landlines available, there was no electricity. I lived in the village for 5 months and did a water lift irrigation project for the whole village.
Wow.
So
Wow.
yeah, and where it was known to be recognized to be dry lands, it's become completely irrigational lands, agriculture lands, and the whole economy of the village. It's a very small village. It has really grown, come up, and where we were the only family to have the tractors. now we know there are almost 7 8 tractors in that village, and the economy has grown. There's a lot of education that we as family, a lot of investment has gone into the education part as well. So in 2010, my husband and I, we started a diploma engineering college there. um,
Wow.
yeah, in that village there. So over a period of time until last year, maybe about 50 to 60 diploma engineers have been gifted to the society, where they are having their own earnings, their livings. They are, and or they are also contributing to the economy. So that was the other part that we had done. And very recently I have donated about in November, in Diwali day, on the Diwali day, I've donated about 4 acres of land to state government to build a school out there, the public school there.
Wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
so besides that, I've been able to contribute for sports, contribute to the Gurukul. So I think these are some of the things what many of us want to do, but don't really get an opportunity to do for whatever the reasons, or maybe we are able to do in a small way or a big way. But when I look at this kind of a life on my personal front, I find it very fulfilling and satisfying. And I only pray to God that He gives me more courage and more opportunities to do more for the society. On professional front, having worked for 30 years, I'm today an executive coach. I love to work with women. I love to work with women leaders and the women entrepreneurs. And I have curated a program for them called as I Am Power, which is based on four of the dimensions. And I've also created a tool which I call as, which is the reflective tool. And very recently, I just finished a session with one of my clients, and they really liked the tool. There was a lot of meaning that was coming out of the tool, and the program, that workshop that was conducted for their participants. Similarly, there's another program which I'm very passionate about, and that's called as personal signature, where I
Hmm.
believe that it's not about creating a personal brand, but it's
Hmm.
about what is the kind of personal signature that we leave behind. And
Hmm.
in that context, there is a post I've written in my LinkedIn. And
Hmm.
to me, I believe in that, to say that what is the signature I leave behind? What is the impression I leave behind? When we sign it, look at it this way, Nikita, when you sign a check, when you sign a
Hmm.
contract, I
Hmm.
mean, that signature has so much of value. And the receiver says, oh, this person je check mila hai, so it will never bounce. Or if the
Hmm.
contract is signed, it will be honored. So
Hmm.
that is a signature. So that's a personal signature, which it's a program that I've curated, and would like to take it to more people outside. So that's been
Wow.
a little bit about my journey. But overall, my educational background, my family background, the support I got from my family has really facilitated me in becoming what I am today. And of course, with the blessings of God. So that is what my journey has been, Nikita.
Wonderful. That was amazing. I would really like to know about the program, probably after this discussion. But I want
Certainly.
to understand, how did you, like, when were you introduced to LinkedIn? And, how does digital marketing play any role in either creating the program or spreading the awareness?
That's a very nice question, Nikita. And I think I belong to that generation which is into the transition of having been into non-technology era to a technology era. So I've seen the both. Okay. So
Yeah.
it's an intriguing journey for me again.
Correct.
Where yes, but I must say I use LinkedIn and Facebook quite a bit as social
Hmm.
media platforms, and I find LinkedIn extremely useful because
Hmm.
a lot of the professional tie-ups, a lot of professional connects happen through LinkedIn.
Hmm.
Facebook is, yeah, it's like a personal Facebook space. Personal, like I'm eating somewhere and I put it up and I say what I'm eating, or I'm here, so I showcase and say where I am. Okay,
Hmm.
so I mean, all right. I mean, nothing right or wrong about it. But
Right.
Facebook also, I have used it mainly for the professional work, and the
Hmm.
groups which are created in the Facebook. I use
Hmm.
those for showcasing the professional work, mainly with the idea of reaching out to the larger audience, and maybe to
Hmm.
those groups who are of the with similar backgrounds that I work, the space that I work in. So I
Hmm.
use those two a lot. But yes, maybe one day I'll sit with you, Nikita, and take some coaching from you to know more about digital marketing and the Instagram. I have it loaded. I've downloaded it on my mobile. My daughter's done that for me, but I've not used Instagram. And this, this StreamYard and LineYard, whatever you have. I mean, I want to know more of it and reach out to more and more. And maybe that's something I will, what to say, that will be my New Year resolution for 2022.
You are most welcome to do that. I am happy to help.
And I have no problem saying this openly because I'm just sharing what I know and what I don't know. It's so
Absolutely.
right. I mean,
The best part about this is you accept that you don't know, and you are taking one step to learn. I
right.
mean, I know so many entrepreneurs who are scared to admit that they don't know something, right? Because if they don't know something, they are not just ready to take the next step of learning it. So
Yeah.
probably that is a good part. But I think when you get into entrepreneurial journey, most of the time what I have observed is people are open to learn, and they are, in fact, very optimistic about learning new things every month, which may help their business. So I'm pretty blessed to know those kind of entrepreneurs as well. uh, Coming to you, when did you start using LinkedIn for your professional connections?
Well, I have been a user of LinkedIn for very long years. I mean,
Okay.
it may be, yeah, yeah, it may be almost 8, 9 years.
Awesome. How do
When
you
a
plan your content then?
Okay, so in terms of the content, uh, uh, it's a kind of an experimentation that one has to do. Okay,
Hmm.
because sometimes w- to know that what is it that would interest the readers.
Hmm. Hmm.
And what I also find that when you put something more about you, focusing on yourself, it doesn't really evoke so much of an interest, except for those who want to cheer you up and clap, right?
Hmm. Hmm.
But
Hmm.
the content, I think it should be something where, if as a professional, and this
Hmm.
is through my corporate journey, and as a professional, one would like to become a thought leader, create some concepts, present the concepts to the people, to the readers
Hmm.
who are the other professionals who are
Hmm.
on the LinkedIn, on that platform, and one would like to share the ideas and thought and hear from them. So
Correct.
I use LinkedIn from that context to say that, is this thought leadership, is this concept, or is this something that I've experienced? Would it be of interest, and how would they respond and react? And I get some feedbacks out of it. So that is how I use LinkedIn. Creating the content, of course, one thing I learned doing in LinkedIn is to be very, very brief, precise, and yet communicate powerfully within those limited number of words that you need to do for the post, especially for the
Correct.
post and not for the article. I've done both. I've presented article as well, and
Okay.
recently my experience has been that, I mean, one of my posts very recently, which I posted in
Hmm.
the month of November, went almost viral.
Wow.
With almost 3.6 million viewers, some 49 odd reactions and responses, and with about uh, some 5,000, 6,000 comments and reshares.
Wow.
Yeah, reshares, almost 500, close to 500 reshares. But here the learning was that here I had put about this person. I traveled from Hubli to Bangalore by air.
Hmm.
It was a
Hmm. Hmm.
person
Hmm.
sitting next to me, and a very young person, and there was so much of excitement that was going on, and he was on the WhatsApp video calls, his mother, his father, his uncle, and all speaking in Kannada. I know Kannada, that's my mother tongue.
Hmm. Hmm.
And for a moment, I thought maybe he was traveling the first time, and everybody was
Hmm.
excited. Very, very simple person, very simple boy, young
Hmm.
boy, 24,
Hmm.
25 years of age. And
Hmm. Hmm.
so, and I
Hmm.
actually asked him, I said, "Are you traveling the first time?" He said, no, I'm not traveling the first time. I've traveled many
Mm,
times. I said, then why is this
mm,
excitement? And he was also taking his pics and
mm,
selfies.
mm,
So I said, why is this
mm.
excitement so much? He said,
Mm.
I'm in army and I'm a sepoy. And I'm now
Wow.
rejoining my duties. Yeah, I'm rejoining my duties. And I'm going to one of the LACs, and he gave me some details which I have not written. And but
Mm-hmm.
with his permission,
Mm.
I have put his picture and I've given a write up there. But
Wow.
and yeah, he also shared with me a couple of videos of his earlier postings, and somewhere
Mhm.
where he was a little hurt or whatever. He had shared it, and I said, "My God, wow! This young boy who's going on to LAC, and his family is so excited. They're so cheerful. They're encouraging him, and and supporting him, and he's so excited. It's something so unique, something different. I mean, he's not a
Right.
celebrity, but to me, he was a
Mm.
celebrity. And I said to him, I said, I'm so honored to sit next to you. And he's going there to
True.
LA. Yeah. And that post went really a little went viral. It appealed to people to
Hmm.
talk about this young boy and a sepoy and the kind of excitement which was there. So it only
Wow.
that was a new experience for me. Though some of my posts and my articles had gone up to 8,000, 9,000 viewers and comments and some, but those were mainly in my own arena of profession.
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
the
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
audience was quite limited there, but here the audience became a very wide audience, including people from the ex-defense people, and they also appreciated and they put up they liked it, some reshared it. It appealed to the masses because it was talking about the masses and it was talking about a very, very common person who was going out there, but a real hero.
Hmm. True.
Yeah.
Seriously.
So this has been
So
my learning, Nikita. Um, so every post of mine for me is an experience for me, and I try
so
to gain some
basically your
insights.
content is more focused on in the moment, right? You don't
In
pre-plan the content, or it's a
Hmm.
mixture of both.
It's a mixture of both. Some of my articles, if you see on the LinkedIn, some of my
Mm-hmm.
articles have been a very pre-thought of. It is something to do, like I have written an article on self-efficacy, which
Hmm.
it is based on Albert Bandura's theory and how it
Hmm.
can be linked to my profession of
Hmm.
mentoring. I have written about
Hmm.
become an Abraham Lincoln, Abe
Hmm. Hmm.
Lincoln, how
Hmm.
he,
Hmm.
what were the kind of frustration, how did he bring about something? So
Hmm.
some of it's a mix of the two. Being in a moment, like I was in the village which I was talking to you about, and closer
Hmm.
to the
Hmm.
village is a very beautiful small school, the government school. I went there. I was so impressed. I took some pics and I put it up there. And
Hmm.
I put it's a post called as Walls That Teach.
Hmm.
And to
Hmm.
find this in the rural area and government school is definitely
Hmm.
something new, which we are not aware of. I mean, this may
Hmm.
not be new in the international schools or the bigger schools in urban cities, but this was in a very small village. So
Hmm.
these are the
Hmm.
things I would like to bring up to the people, to showcase it to people, and also some of the thoughts. There's another one which I had put called as Veeragalu, which I have dedicated to the COVID warriors,
Wow.
and with some of the messages to say that why can't we have a system of education where we take our MBAs and especially the MBAs into these rural placements
Hmm.
and help them to learn from there because this is where the workforce comes from and the diverse background that they come from. So it's so important for the MBA students to really go and work at the ground root level, look at the people where they're getting the workforce from, and that's how. So these are some of the things I would like to put forth in terms of being in the moment. At the same time, some thoughts. You know, so
This is
it's
so
generally
true.
yeah.
Yeah, I have a history of working with a restaurant. I was heading one QSR chain, and like I just joined the company, right? And I was made in charge to do marketing, and my mentor came and told me that you have to do ABC. And me being me, pass out from an MBA and use PGDM degree, I created superb, mind blowing presentation with looking so interactive and color coded and stuff like that. And when I was going to give a presentation, my mentor was like, "Do you know the education level of the chef and people who are working in the kitchen? We are creating a strategy for them on a PPT." So I can totally relate to that thought when you just said that the MBAs have to know the ground level
Level.
reality.
Yeah.
That's so true because I have experienced it. I made that presentation and everybody had given me such a strange look till that, since that day to uh, probably in my nightmare I still visualize it. Everybody looking like ये लड़की कर क्या रही है.
रही है.
So I can
True.
totally relate that. And when you write this content, that is the experience which counts, right? It needs to be authentic. You cannot just Google the stuff and put it on the LinkedIn and claim it as your own
Correct.
experience.
Yeah, yeah.
This is the life experience which you can share and people can relate to. So I totally get that. Content has to be mixture of both.
Mixture of both. Yeah. And I think a lot of this also comes because of my social work background and the work that I've
Right.
been doing or been my association with the village that I come from, that I belong to.
Right.
So it's been a very
Great.
interesting journey for me, Nikita. And
Thank you
yes, I
so
mean,
much for sharing it.
thank you. And I yes, I mean, in today's time, social media, I personally believe that we have got to use the technology. We have got to use the social media platform because more than for publicity, it is also for reaching out to a wider audience and to taking one's own thoughts and some of the ideas to a larger audience there out there. And with this, one can actually go global at
Absolutely,
no cost.
absolutely,
Yeah. So
absolutely.
I
I
I
agree.
mean, yeah. So at my sincere submission to the younger generation would be that please do that. And those who are young entrepreneurs and entrepreneurs who come from not from the urban but from tier 2 tier 3 level cities, but who are entrepreneurs, and they're very
Right.
bright people, bright young women entrepreneurs I've dealt with, but to support them and help them to leverage on the technology and to make use of their digital platforms.
Thank you so much for that beautiful message. I mean, seriously, any women entrepreneur who are thinking of it, do start using digital media. That's going to help you for your business, definitely. Thank you
Definitely,
so
yeah.
much, Shirani ji, for coming on board and giving so much time and being so authentic.
Because it's okay. I mean, if I don't know something, I don't know. It's okay. I don't feel shy about it. I have learned a lot of things. I will learn, continue to learn. That's what life is about.
Absolutely. Loved your attitude. Thank you so much.
Okay. Thank you so much, Nikita. Uh,
Yes.
so, fine.
Thank
Thank
you,
you.
viewers, for checking out. Thank you so much. If you have
It
a
was a,
question, comment, do share with us and we'll get back.
yeah.
Thank you, Rani ji.
And I'm on the LinkedIn, and anyone who connects with me, I always make it a point to get back to them. I always respond to the messages. If anyone wants to reach out to me, they can do so, and
Perfect.
I would be very happy. Thank you so much, Nikita, for having me with you. Thank you.
Thank you, Rani ji. Thank you.
Right.